and welcome to another video. Please bear with me with these early videos because I'm a bit rusty with the filming side, but what I'm going to do now is to get on with a little bit more sowing. So I've got these trays. These are half trays. I bought these, well actually I bought these last year I think, but I've been tending to buy my stuff now off eBay or Amazon rather than local to save a bit of money. So these have got holes in the bottom, and then if I put these in those other trays what I showed you in the last video, they haven't got holes in the bottom. So when things get watered and that, especially when the plants get that little bit bigger, the water can collect underneath, and it will just help for any times where I might miss a day. You know, it's unlikely, but it could happen, you know, through various reasons. So anyway, let's crack on. Well, I'm using this Jack's Magic soil. This is my preferred one now. I've got these bags left from last year. I think it was last year. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's last year. Now the only thing to bear in mind when you've got using bags from the previous year is that some of the nutritional value may have disappeared out of the bag, because they all have holes in that, so it can breathe and that, and so you just got to be a little bit aware of that. But it might not be as good as if from fresh soil what you buy. So I wondered what that was. Right, so crack on. I've got my soil near to the top of the tray. I like to kind of flatten it out, because quite often when I sow seeds, especially the bigger ones, I space them out, and the reason I do that is when it comes to actually picking them out and that, it's easier, it's less disturbance on the roots. I know you could, some people will just grow them all in there and then separate them. Sometimes I might do that, but this just can save some money in the long run. Now, something I haven't mentioned in the past, I don't think, but I may have done. You'll notice on some of my videos, I actually, especially with the dahlias, I actually sow directly into these. Now, there's one thing you need to be aware of. The soil what you buy in the bags usually has got some feed in there, and it will give you a time scale of how long that will last. Typically 6 to 8 weeks. So if we sow straight into these pots, the time the plant has actually started growing and that, some of the goodness has already gone out of the soil. So what I'm going to do this year, I'm going to actually sow the dahlias in these trays, probably about 1.25 inches apart. That's 34mm, and we're just going to try it a bit different. I may actually do 1 or 2 in those just to see what the difference is, and see how the plants actually go, because you know I do like to try different things out. So that's one lot already filled. I like to do a few of these in one go, so I'm going to fill another 3 trays quickly. One done. when you're sowing, folks, every year is a different year, and every year you have to try and do something slightly different. Basically because of the weather conditions, which is something you don't have any control of. Yes, you can have a tunnel like this, but the tunnel, although it's warmer than outside, the temperature variation when the sun's out. So if you've got a lot of cloudy days, it's not going to be as warm, whereas the one year when you've got a lot of sunny days, then things are going to dry up and they're going to need watering so much more, and the growth rate will probably increase then. So you need to be aware of all these things. And there's certain seeds, for instance polyanthers, they do not like the warmth to germinate and that to grow on. So once you've got those actually going, and it's best not to use a propagator for those, it's best to get them out the polytunnel and put them maybe in a sheltered spot in the garden to grow on in the trays. It's all things which you actually pick up over time. Just looking at this, I've just taken this away. I think there's like a tiny spider in this web here. Right, the other thing what I've learnt is, if you look at this cover here now, it's been up for 3 years, I believe, and it's pretty, apart from where mistakes have been made and items have been pressed against the cover, it's held up well. If you can't see, but if you were to compare this to this cover what's on this seed little I don't know what you call them now, that's like a grow tent which I've got inside, what you normally you'd have outside, that's all broken up and then all the plastic's gone. So they all vary, this type of stuff. But the thing what's helped this stay so good is the heat tape what's across all the bars. Had I not used it, this would have I would have had to replace this. If I've had it up 3 years, it would have had to been replaced maybe 2 years ago. And as you can see, it's still okay. So I'm quite chuffed about that. At least I'll get another growing season out of it, maybe longer. I'm just looking here. I've just found a little snail. Can you see that? I hope you can. Oh, sorry, I was filming. I keep holding it up to the display instead of the lens. Yeah, but a lot of those have died this year. Right, so let's go and crack on, do another one. Something else you will notice this year is that I've actually not bought any mini plug plants. Normally I would have had some a month ago, but I've not had the time. I was ill, and obviously everything that's going on with my parents. Plus I've got to be a bit more careful now with the money, because you know we've always relied on my dad and that, and we're probably not going to have his income for much longer. So anyway, so this year it's going to be growing more of the seeds, and so it'll be slightly different to previous years, where I've on the front of the garden I've had geraniums, lobelia and marigolds. They won't be there this year. I mean, there might be some geraniums, which are not geraniums, some marigolds what I'll grow. So I'm going to have to think about what else is going to go into those tubs and that this year. I know some of the dwarf dahlias will be alright, so it might be that it's all going to be dahlias on there this year. which will mean it will be later in the year when they'll be out. So we'll have to see. We'll see what seeds I've got, what I can actually get into those tubs, and then possibly I may have to just purchase 1 or 2 growing plants just to stick in them, just to tie me through until my plants are all ready. But we'll see how it goes. I'm not, as long as I've got a lot of nice colour. Sometimes it's nice just to have a change of the routine, and just to you know, sometimes it's not to plan sometimes, so you know, we'll just see how it goes. Right, so now this is where, oh, it's alright, we're on the tripod, I can swivel you around. I'm just going to move the lens around so you're over here, so I can actually get some seeds and do some sowing. So just bear with me a second while I loosen this and move this around here and alter the angle slightly. A little bit higher, sorry about this folks. As I said, I'm a bit rusty this year. Oh, that's alright. So these are the 4 trays what I've just got going. Now I'm just going to take the gloves off for a second while I have a look at the seeds. I say that the dahlias now, there is 1 or 2 which are zinnias, and they do look very much alike. The only problem with some of these is that they're not from England. Oh, actually these are in English, but some of the others are just in foreign language, not in English. So basically it's saying a depth of 1/2 centimetre, which is a little bit more than 1/8 of an inch. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to open this packet up and we'll get some of these going. The other thing what I'm doing this year, which I tended not to do in previous years, is I'm actually only sowing a few of each of what I've got seeds of. So for instance, this one, there'll just be 1/2 tray with some of these seeds in. The reason for this is that I've got quite a few varieties, and there's quite a lot of seeds in these packets, and I could easily fill up, use these for that whole 4 and probably another 4 on top. What I'll do is I'll lay them out, you'll be able to see me do it, and then I'll show you the tray so you can see where I've put the seeds in a minute. I know you will notice that I'm very aware of my teeth situation, and it's I'm just very aware of it, and it's kind of irritating me a bit. I can't be my normal self. Unfortunately, I just haven't got time to get to the dentist, so I just can't leave my mum alone, and I know if I go there I've got the time to get there, time to get back, and the time in this place, and I just haven't got that available, which is a shame. Never mind. Oh, I've just realised folks, I was only going to do 1 tray of these. I've ended up doing 2. I'm going to leave it at that. I got carried away. There's loads of seeds left. So I'm going to put those upside down so I know that I've actually used them. can get two of these out ready. Now, two of these out, sorry about this. Gonna have to put you on pause because I've left my marker pen inside. We're back in a second. Okay folks, I'm back. So what we need to do is mark these up. So these are zinnia giant cactus. And we put today's date. Now what is it? I think it's the 9th. I'll put 9th of April. Pretty sure it is. I'll show you what they look like in a minute. So that's what I've just sown. These will actually grow to 3 feet high. That's 90 centimetre, just below a metre. What I need to do now is actually cover those with 1/2 centimetre, a little bit more than 1/8 of an inch of soil. I do it by hand. I just sprinkle some soil over the top. Now, now at this point folks, you're going to be saying, but not watered. My preferred method is to do the watering afterwards, and part of the reason for this is it can become very messy when you're watering and sowing seeds, and the seeds get stuck to your fingers. So I always do it at the end, and so far, as you've seen, everything I've grown, generally I don't really have any issues. So that's my plan. So they're all done. Now one thing to remember is if you're growing like I do in a polytunnel with a cover, make sure that your labels are away from the side, because if the wind starts flapping, they'll soon get a hole in there. So keep them always away from the edge. Don't have them sticking near, because there's a bit of slack on there and it will blow into it, and each time if it's windy, it'll be going like this, and then in no time you're going to have a little hole in your tunnel. Now that's what's happened. There is 1 or 2 holes around in this tunnel. It's what's mainly near the windows because things have rubbed on, and but I'm okay. I'm alright for another season. Right, let's go and have a look, see what else we can grow. They were done. Okay folks, I have no idea what these are. They look like pom-pom dahlias to me. It's all in a foreign language. even on the back, is totally foreign. So I don't know what language it is, but what I can tell you is, by looking at the diagram, is that these will grow to a metre high. That's 3 feet 3 inches, and the flowers will be 8 centimetre. That's approximately 3 3/4 inches, no, 3.5 inches in diameter. If you're not sure on how far you've got to cover them with soil, you have a look at the seed, and basically tiny seeds need less cover. Sometimes tiny seeds just get sprinkled on the top. Quite often that happens with poppies. So I'm just trying to open this. Oh dear. There we are. Oh, silly me, there's a flap at the other end, I didn't see it. Never mind. Never mind. So there's not many seeds in here. That's what they look like. Very tiny. I just realised I never did a close up of those seeds. You'll see it with these. They are approximately 1 1/4 inches, 33 millimetre in all directions between the seeds. What do I put on them? Dahlias, pom-pom, I think. With a question mark. And we'll put 9th of the 4th as the date. Put this back on. Talking about gloves, folks, you'll notice in the early videos I rarely use them, and I went, I'll just keep on going, and was quite happy with that. Now, what's made me think about wearing them all the time is looking at my mum. Now, with being disabled and suffering from Alzheimer's, her nails get abused a little. We're not able to get them as clean as what they normally would. And what we've noticed, what's happened is that she's got fungal infection in a couple of nails. Now, there's no quick fix to these. You've got to put stuff on for about a year, or at least that's what the doctor told us. And it looks very unsightly, believe me. So so it helps if you've got gloves on to stop any potential bacterial fungal infection from getting its foothold under your nails. I know we're washing that, so it's probably highly unlikely, but there's always that chance, so better be safe than sorry. Right, we've got one more tray I'm going to do today. It's little and often, a little bit each day. Right. You know, I'll tell you what I'm going to do in here. These are all my seeds what I picked from the dahlias what I grew last year. We're going to plant a few of these. Now these are all different sizes, so it's going to be a bit of we're going to have to be careful where we put them, the plants, because some might be 4 foot, some might be 18 inches high. In fact, I'm just going to sprinkle these all over. Because I picked quite a lot, and I'm not sure whether, when I picked them, whether it was the right time. Gloves back on. So I'm going to label these up as Julie's Dahlias. The date is 9th of the 4th. So the next job will be to actually water these, which I'll do off camera. Let's just move this around a little now. That's better. So, I hope you've enjoyed this little video. As I say, it's been a while, you know, I haven't done that much filming over the last 2 years, so I really need to get back into it. I'm going to be a bit camera shy, and but I'm very sweaty as well. I've had to take the jacket off in here because it's quite warm. So yeah, I'll be here. I'll be doing this season. I'll be doing some more sowing. I'll be looking after my plants in the garden. Probably I know I'm going to have surplus, but I'll pass those on to other people. I know I've got to grow a load of cosmos because I've got 3 friends who always want a tray of 15 cosmos plants, so I've got those to do. Normally by now they'd be a few inches high, but then by the time the person has them, they're too high, really. At least this year they'll be more manageable height when they get passed on next month, because I never really get them planted until middle of May. So this year they'll be quite sturdy plants and less lanky. Okay, I think I've rambled on enough. You've probably got fed up with me. So for now, I'm just going to say thanks for all your support over the past few years, all your likes and comments. I read every comment what's posted. You will have noticed that the comments aren't showing up straight away. This is because I've had to moderate, because I'm getting quite a few abusive comments and with foul language and what have you, so everything's moderated now. So that's it, folks. Okay, bye for now.